In the Back of the Book segment tonight, rejoining us now, Counselor to the President, Kellyanne Conway. Now, Kellyanne, let's get straight to President Trump's high-stakes meeting with German Chancellor Angela Merkel set for Tuesday. What's that all about?
We're very excited to welcome her to the White House. These are two leaders who will get to know each other, forge, I think, a very positive relationship, perhaps talk about NATO, perhaps talk about TTIP, what they can do together as two nations that have many common interests around the globe.
Are they going to talk about immigration, perhaps?
They may.
I mean, because that's really the elephant in the room is that Angela Merkel allowed up to 1 million refugees, and now she may have regrets about that. Maybe she can give President Trump a little advice on maybe not going so aggressive with that.
Or vice versa. And President Trump has stated his position on that publicly in the past. But I'll leave it to these two leaders, Eric, whether they will talk about that publicly or whether they will address that privately. But obviously, we'll have a press conference as well. You
mentioned NATO. Now, Germany is one of the NATO countries that may be underperforming on their obligation to finance NATO.
Some people see it that way. So but we were, I think today in a briefing to the press, a senior administration official indicated that the president is heartened to hear that he can discuss that particular issue surrounding NATO. And anyway, we're very excited that she's coming, and we're very excited this is probably the 5th or so visit from a foreign leader since he's been president. Obviously, he's spoken to dozens of others, but these bilateral visits are very important. And he's talked about trade deals. He's talked about how important it is to have bilateral trade deals. You know, he took this country out of TPP to the pleasure of many American workers who felt like it was a bad deal for them, but he's made very clear that he entertains the ability to do fair trade deals. Okay, so it's Friday. Tomorrow's Saturday. What happens on Saturday at 11:30 Eastern? What happens? The SNL, a lot of people are wondering, what's your reaction to the SNL skits? Oh, it depends. I see some of them. Oh, there we are. I'm usually asleep by the time they come on, I confess, but I see some of them. I think most of them are good-humored. Most of them, what is my reaction about me? I thought that the Kellyanne Conway's Day Off was truly funny and spectacular in its accuracy in terms of how I try to, how every woman out there who's got kids in a busy life tries to squeeze in every moment at the grocery store with the kids in the backyard, doing a little exercise with friends, etc. But anyway, we don't really, we know what we're doing in the White House. We know the difference between fact and fiction. But I think the ones that are good-humored and good-natured are great. I think the ones that are a little bit more dark and spooky or inaccurate.
Does the president see him? Does he get a kick out of him?
Well, he has stated what he thinks of them this year. I'm really happy that someone who's 15 years younger than me is playing me. That makes me very happy, frankly. I'm not getting any younger, so thank you, Kate McKinnon. Perhaps we'll meet at some point.
And how's Spicer like spicy? Is he all right with it? Well,
listen, if you work in this White House, you are of good humor and good nature and very focused and very serious when you need to be. But Sean Spicer, you know, he's a guy who's very comfortable with himself and what the job he's doing as press secretary, as we all are. But we all know how to laugh. We all know how to take a joke.
All right, Kellyanne, we're going to leave it right there and say thank you very much for joining us for two big segments tonight.